I gotta tell you guys, I am shocked at how good this movie actually is. I've been hearing some rumblings about this animated Predator film, and this is by the same director, and I feel really stupid that I didn't know this. It is by Dan Trachtenberg, who is the same guy that directed Prey, that came out a couple years ago, the Predator movie, and also he's directing the upcoming Predator Badlands. So this guy is just fully immersed in Predator in every way, shape, and form. And when I sat down to watch this, I didn't realize that to begin with. I guess I just hadn't been looking at the behind the scenes stuff. And I thought that it would be an enjoyable, just an enjoyable movie to watch for the night. I wasn't expecting anything too special out of it. And then it just kept getting more and more badass and interesting and exciting, and it just blew me away. I'm not gonna lie. I was stunned at how good this movie actually is. I kind of wish it was live action just because of how great it was. I would have loved to see this in the theater, but the animation is great as well. And as far as I'm concerned, it does take place within the continuity of the Predator films, but I enjoyed it so much that I honestly might have to say that this is like my second favorite Predator movie besides the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because the original Predator is not just a great Predator movie, it's just one of the greatest films ever made. It's like a perfect Predator movie, a perfect action movie, a perfect horror movie, and a perfect Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Like there's no beating it, right? And to all the other Predator movies, I like them to various degrees. Predator 2, I think, is all right. The Alien versus Predator movies are kind of guilty pleasures. And then the Predators movie, I actually really like. I think that's probably the most underrated one. Then there was one that I never saw, just called The Predator. I still have never seen it. Should probably watch it. And finally, Prey, which was a pleasant surprise again, and again, a movie that I wish I would have seen in theaters. So he finally gets a Predator movie in theaters with Badlands. So we'll see how that goes. But as far as Killer of Killers is concerned, I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't watch the trailer. So every single aspect, every little twist and turn worked for me completely. And because of that, I do want to say that maybe you should go into this movie blind. Maybe you should go in not knowing anything. I'm not going to spoil anything yet. I'll probably talk about spoilers like at the very end of this video, but just the general premise. And again, if you prefer to go in blind like I did, that's the best way to do it. But the general premise here is this is kind of an anthology. So we have 3 different human main characters across 3 different time periods, and each of them ends up encountering a predator in one way, shape, or form. But the movie goes even further than that I won't spoil here in this beginning portion of the video. But the movie begins in the Viking Age, which I already thought was a great premise. And I always thought like one of the coolest things they could have done for a Predator movie is kind of what Prey did, and show different time periods of different kinds of warriors encountering predators, because that's what the Predators go for. They go for the ultimate prey, essentially. They are the hunter of hunters. And so that's kind of why I like the Predators movie, how it's this group of all these different kind of hardened criminals all fighting predators together. I thought that was a really cool concept. And obviously the original Predator as well, this team of, badass muscle-bound mercenaries facing them. So I was like, all these different war times throughout history would all make great Predator movies. And the movie starting in the Viking Age, I was like, all right, it's going to be Vikings versus Predators. This is going to be great. But it also opens as if we're already in the 3rd act of another movie. So it's so interesting how this movie starts sort of like with this female warrior kind of at the end of her journey. She's going on a revenge mission and she's almost there. She's about to face down the person that, did something terrible to her in her past. And the whole movie opens with this epic, action sequence, animated really well. The style of animation is not my preferred style of animation, but I think it works really well here. I don't have any complaints about it really, other than it just not being my personal cup of tea for animation, but I think that it works perfectly fine in the film. And I literally thought the movie was going to be all about her character. I thought she was going to be the main character of the film, and that we were going to have this Viking era versus a predator, which you do. Predator shows up and it's awesome. I won't spoil that, But going further, and then this is like, again, minor spoilers because we're talking about an anthology style movie here. We then jump forward in time and we see the story of a samurai, two samurai warriors actually in Japan, and their encounter with a predator as well. And that was something I didn't think the movie was going to do. So then it got me on board thinking like, oh, we're going to show all of these different time periods of, you know, humans encountering predators. This is really cool. And the samurai aesthetic and style, you know, all that is great. And every predator that you see is a different type of predator. You know, some are like way bigger and more jacked. Some are more agile. You know, some are more intricate with their technology. So you get to see a lot of variations of predators. But the third story really threw me for a loop because this one takes place in World War II with a pilot going up against a predator that is up in the predator ship, who has obviously technology that is way far advanced than human beings were at in the 1940s. And so you have a bunch of people trying to face off against this predator warship, and it's just like they have no chance whatsoever. So the lead character has to be very creative and intuitive with what he knows about piloting and also what he figures out about the Predator ship as it keeps unveiling its weapons and techniques and what it can do and everything. And so like it gives you three distinct stories about these people facing predators, and all of them are so uniquely different and all the characters are so uniquely different. But then it goes even further than that, and that's the part that I don't want to spoil, so I'm going to leave it there if you guys haven't seen it until I talk about spoilers in the video. But what I can say is that the characters, all of them are great. All three of them are great in their own unique ways. Every predator interaction that we see, the predators have a completely different design and completely different skill set, and they're using a variety of different weapons, a lot of which that we've never seen before. It's got the action, it's got the gore. This is definitely like a heavy R-rated, you know, brutal, violent movie that you want to see. I definitely noticed in the score of the movie, they were using the traditional Predator theme from the original Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, the like dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That was like the core foundation for the entire score all the way through. And yeah, but it was really the final segment of the movie that I don't want to spoil here that sold me. So all I'm going to say is go see it. If you're a Predator fan, I think that this is going to be exactly what you want to see. I don't have any complaints with it at all. It completely surprised me. I thought it would maybe be like a 3-star movie for me. I rated it 5 stars after finishing it. But anyways, I'm going to talk about spoilers a little bit. I'm going to talk about the final act of the movie. So if you don't want to know, just go ahead and click off the video now, but leave it a like before you do, you know, help me out a little bit. But anyways, going into spoilers, here is where it sold me for good. So I enjoyed the movie. I was pleasantly surprised up to this point, and I thought it was just going to be an anthology. I thought we were getting 3 stories, maybe 4, and that's what it was going to be, like a segmented, just individual little short film style movie, right? No. So the final portion of this film is all 3 of these main characters have been abducted, and apparently the predators have like a cryo sleep sort of thing where they keep people. So they basically take these warriors that have defeated predators and put them in this cryo sleep until they want to use them again. And there's this big Coliseum event called the Killer of Killers, and you see this like badass, just gigantic motherfucker of a Yautja, you know, come out, and he's all decked out with like the skulls and the bones and the tails of like all the creatures he's beaten. And he puts these 3 characters that we've grown to understand throughout the course of the movie, and each of them have their own individual backstory and their own individual personality, and they're put in this Coliseum, and essentially the predators are saying for the 3 of them to all fight each other until only one is left. And they give them each the weapon of their tribe. So the samurai gets a katana, the Viking gets an axe, and yes, I noticed the little gun from Predator 2 that the World War II pilot gets. But I loved all of these characters coming together because they literally could not be more different, even to the point where they all speak different languages, right? So like, the only one we, at least like for Western audiences, the only one that we understand and identify with is the World War II pilot because he's speaking English and he's from America, essentially. So like we get him, you know, and he's trying to talk to the other two, and then one speaks Japanese, one's speaking like Old Norse or whatever, you know, and it's like, nope, they can't communicate with one another, and they're supposed to all kill each other. Some of them go for it, some of them don't, and so it's this whole, you know, issue of like, how do we get out of here? How do we work together? Are we going to kill each other? There's this giant coliseum that's watching this event go down. You see other alien creatures that the Predators have, and seeing them somehow manage to work together, minus the communication difference, minus the extreme disadvantage they're in, and also the brutality of the situation. And the thing that I was really worried about is, all three of these characters are going to get out of this perfectly. They don't. There are consequences. We're in the spoiler section. So yeah, the samurai loses his arm, and the Viking warrior decides that she's going to go down, take one for the team. She doesn't die. She gets recaptured. But that final sequence, it just threw me for a loop because I was not expecting the movie to go in that direction. I literally thought the whole thing was just going to be like a story by story anthology, and then bringing it all together at the end was just an amazing decision, and that's my favorite sequence of the film. Honestly, I think like the World War II pilot is kind of my favorite of the three stories, which may be surprising because you'd think I would gravitate more towards the other two, but I just loved how well done it was. But essentially, him and the samurai get to escape, but they're being chased down, so it's kind of ending on a cliffhanger if they're going to continue this. But what I think the big reveal is that you see in one of the cryo chambers where it has all these people that have defeated Predators, you see the girl from Prey. So they have her as well. And this leads to a whole line of possibilities of what could happen, because if the Predators are doing this, this literally means that you could bring back any character from the previous movies. Like, as time goes on, you would imagine that all of these events would have happened. Now, I don't know when Predator Badlands is supposed to take place, you know, and I think it's on a completely different planet anyway, so it probably doesn't matter. But this sets up a precedent, like, if the girl from Prey can come back and all these characters from different time periods can be assembled in one place, you know where my head's going to go. Does this mean we could get an eventual return of Dutch? Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character from the original movie. If that is the case, if the precedent that is being set is that everyone that's defeated a Predator gets abducted and put into this Coliseum battle, then that can absolutely mean we could get Dutch back. And if they do it in animated form, we don't have to worry about Arnold Schwarzenegger being like 40 years older. You know, we could literally just have him as if it's him from directly after the events of the original Predator. So that's where my mind goes, and that's what I hope that they do, because that would be such a cool idea to bring these characters back and do it in an interesting way that doesn't necessarily feel like it's only fan service. At the same time, I am a fan, so I don't mind being serviced. But if they do it in a creative way, I think that's better, and I think that this is a very interesting idea, and maybe that's why it was presented in animated form. Maybe it's like showing us the idea, and then if people like it, they'll expand on that. But as far as just this movie goes, I really, really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. I did not think I would like it as much as I did. I thought I would enjoy it, but it really blew me away. And right now, I don't know. I got to watch that one Predator movie I've never seen and maybe rewatch Prey. But as of right now, I think it's my second favorite Predator movie. So for whatever that's worth. Anyways, let me know if you guys have seen it. If you like it, down below, leave all your thoughts and opinions about it. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Please help it out in the algorithm by giving it a like and comment. And I'll talk to you next time.